Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Lena. Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to show you all the books that I've read recently. To be honest, even though I've been away a little while, I haven't really read that much. I went into a reading slump, so for like 3 weeks I didn't even pick up a book. But honestly, the last week I was pretty on point. So let me just talk about them. So the first one is going to be A Natural History of Dragons. I beg your pardon because I actually don't know where this book is. I had to rearrange these two shelves a couple of weeks ago because I had to move them. And now everything is a mess. I do not know where anything is. So I cannot find it. But I read it I think 2 months ago already. And hear me out. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. But I still didn't love it. Will I continue the series? Yes, because it's really cool. It just... I think I've been liking it more since I've watched My Lady Jane. Because in a way, I feel like the main character is similar to her. So now that I've watched the show, I'm just like, yeah, I actually really liked The Memoirs of Lady Trent. So I'll probably continue. If you have never heard about this series, it is basically about following a... Is it alternative history where we have dragons? So we have this woman who is obsessed with studying dragons and she marries. The husband is actually really cool. She goes with him to explore and find more dragons. It's really cool. I feel like this... So this first book is actually kind of a... How can I explain it? It's like setting the mood for the series to continue, you know? It feels... I mean, it's book one, but it kind of feels like a prequel for some reason. It has that weird feeling. But yeah, in general, I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, so it's actually a pretty decent book. So then we have this Spanish book. This is Luna del Cazador, which I think I was reading by the time I did my last What the Fuck Am I Reading video, if I'm not mistaken. But this was alright. I feel like this is... kind of the book form of a CW show. This would triumph as a CW show. Like something like Legacies with a mix of supernatural but with teenagers. Well, they're not teenagers actually, but this is set on... was it Ireland? Was it Ireland? I think it was Ireland or Scotland. But it's set there and this is a rehab center, basically, for people with money. That's it. Rich kids. 20-something kids, you know? At times, it was really, really cringy. But in general, it wasn't bad. I'm actually surprised because lately, Spanish books have been like a mess with me. Like, they have been so terrible. Have been so terrible. So, this one... fine. I wasn't into this one expecting like anything supreme, so it was pretty nice. But yeah, this is also tagged as Dark Academia, which kinda, but at the same time, the only Dark Academia theme here is that they are set on this rehab facility. Nothing really else, like intellectual or like class related. So Dark Academia really... But I will say that it's more like gothic because this like rehab center used to be an old castle and such. So mostly like that, more like gothic. So if you're thinking about reading this book, take that into account. It has like a tag of Dark Academia in the front, but it's not really there. This one I gave 3.5. It was fine overall. Like it was a good ride. Nothing incredible, but it was pretty fine. Incredible things here. I read Godeater, which... I think you've heard me talk about this thing, but Rob J. Hayes has come out with 3 new series. And all of the first books are coming out at the same time. And then the second, and then the third. It's just a little bit confusing, but it actually is really cool. So you have one that is set, I think, 5,000 years prior to the main book. Another one that is 2,000 years prior, and this one which is the present. And this one was the first one, the 1,000. Was it 5,000? I think it was 5,000, but the 5,000 one. And I love this. This is basically following humanity being rounded up with demons. They actually live secluded in the forest because demons cannot find them there. So they have like these very, very small communities so the demons don't find them. Really cool. Of course demons find them. of fucking course. But the main character here was great. I think it's my favorite out of all of the series. I don't know why, but she's just so fucking cool and she suffers so much. I feel like this first book is the most grimdark out of all of this. Like, it's dark. It's fucking dark. You have cannibalism, you have torture, you have anything. Anything grimdark related. The other books in the series are similar, but this one in particular, I felt like it was so dark. And it's also really short. I highly recommend it. I will not talk about these ones too much because I'll plan on doing a full video about them. Just about them. So yeah. I give it 5 stars. It was super cool, to be honest. I really liked it. It was one of the books that got me into reading again after the reading slump. So thumbs up for Godeater. It was fantastic. I said Godeater, but Godeater is like the main series. This first book is actually called Demon. I just completely blacked out. So, next one. I read Womb City. This was fucking bizarre. This book, holy shit, I listened to it as an audiobook and it had mixed so many things. When I started this, I started it a little bit scared because I do not like anything that is related with pregnancy. I just don't like it. I hate it, to be honest. So I was just like, yeah, I will read it, but let's see. And I feel like the pregnancy was so secondary. Like, it was very like prominent in the story, in like the plot, but it wasn't like prominent in the story, if that makes sense. You might not be understanding me, but that's okay. So weird. But basically, in this society, some people are tagged as violent and they have to live with the camera installed in their brains, well, in their eyes. They can see anything they do. We also have this kind of thing that puts you into the body of another human being and then you have to live their life with their families. It's just so confusing. So confusing. There were so many like things, concepts in this book. I'm blown away by it. I'm extremely overwhelmed. But then I didn't like the ending. It's just like, it surprised me so much at first and then it went downhill. You get to a point where you have like, oh my god, maybe is this an experiment? From there, I just didn't connect with it as well. But you have like, you also have like this kind of ghost who is after the family of the main character because they kill her. So now and no one else can see there. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's so much. There's so much going on in this. But in general, I kind of liked it. I give it 3.5 because it was so confusing. I don't even know. Like, there was so much going on. Like, so many concepts, which I actually like for a sci-fi novel. Like, give me something revolutionary. But at the same time, there was so many things that I had to pay attention to get to the actual plot that it was so confusing. This one, Evocation. I was really excited for this book. It was one of my like anticipated new releases for this year. Love this author, St. Gibson. She's just fantastic. The thing is, I was promised something like much more plot centered, but ended up just being the relationship dynamic between these 3 characters and their polyamory relationship, which is not bad, but it's definitely not what I was hoping for. It was kind of nice, not gonna lie. Like, the relationship was great, but I was just like waiting for more plot to come in, and it didn't. It was just the story of them and the angst and oh my god, and I love you and I don't, and you're bad for me. And I wasn't really feeling romance at the time. So yeah, supposedly the main story is following David, and the family of David supposedly made a contract with the devil, a pact with the devil. And now the devil is coming to get his claim, basically, and take his life. The countdown aspect of it was really cool. But you know, all the fucking romance was just just not for me. It was fun, I'll say that. It was really fun and really well done for what it was, but just not for me. So I ended up giving this one 3 stars. Then we have the Flight of the Einstein. Eisentein. There we go. I don't know why it took me so much. Why it took me so long. So this is a Warhammer universe novel. This is set after the first trilogy of the Horus Heresy, and it kind of tells the same story as Galaxy in Flames, but from a different POV, the POV of the Flight of the Einstein, which was fine, but at first it was just so annoying. Like, the beginning is just like a retelling of book 3, which was a little bit annoying, but the rest was actually really cool. We start to see like more of the depth of the lore of the Warhammer universe. I feel like I cannot talk about this one too much because it's just like book 4 in a series. I think I'm going to do like a Warhammer video. I should do it. It's way over time. Like, I need to do it. But yeah, I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars in the end. Like, the beginning was pretty meh, but the ending made up for the rest of the book. Then, continuing with the Age of the Godeater series, I read Deathless, which is the first book in the second trilogy, and this is my least favorite of the 3. I think so? Maybe not. Maybe not. This one is also pretty short, and this is 2000 years prior to the main timeline of the story. And in here, demons have been banished, humanity rules with the help of the angels. And it's just super cool to see the change between eras. Like, this is no spoilers, by the way. Like, you can read these books in any order you want. That's the magic of it. And it was so cool to see like the difference. Like, here humanity is just like the #1. They are trying to explore other continents, and it's amazing. And we follow the main king of this humanity empire, and it was so cool to follow him. Like, such a cool character, dude. I really liked him, and I was rooting for him so badly. If you've read this book, you will understand, or maybe you will not, but I was rooting for him so badly. So badly. Like, you cannot even imagine. Like, I was just like, yeah, beat their ass. I really liked it. But yeah, this one I also give like 4.5. Really, really enjoying it. I highly recommend this series, like, just read it. Then I've reread Howling Dark because I'm currently doing a reread of the Sun Eater series to read the last book, which is not published here yet, but I really want to read it. So I've been rereading the whole series. Howling Dark was, I think, my least favorite book in the series, but this time around I actually really enjoyed it because I forgot that actually some of the negotiations with the Yeltsin took place here. And I completely forgot about that. I was just like thinking that it was all in Demon in White, but it wasn't. So now my concept of my feeling with this book is on another level. So now I'm actually bumping this one to a 5-star. I think it had like 4.5 before. It's also a 5-star book. Fuck this shit. Like, I love the Sun Eater series. I do not care. Everything that I've read about this series is fantastic. But if you've never heard about this follows Adrian Marlowe, who is a member of a noble house in this empire, and we're set on the future. The story is being told to us by him after he blew up an entire solar system, killing millions, and this is his life story. And I love it. I fucking love it. Like, book 2 expands on the world so much. We also have like more android people, which was what I remembered more about this book, but no. We have also negotiations, which is great. I had forgotten. How did I forget? Like, it's such an important event. How did I forget? I don't know, but this series is incredible. Read it. Next, I read The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. And this is interesting because the thing is, when I read it, I enjoyed it, but it's been over a month and I cannot tell you what this book is about. Well, I kind of do. It's set on an island where everything is cool, is fine. Oh yeah, it's coming back to me. It's fine, but every night the whole town not only sleeps, but they actually, every time the sun goes down, they fall into kind of a coma. And then they wake up. And some of them start waking up in weird places, not in their beds. It's pretty cool. And then there is a murder, but this is a Pacific community. How could a murder happen? So yeah, it's pretty cool. Now that I remember, it's kind of pretty cool, honestly. But as I've told you, it's pretty forgettable. I feel like this is better than The Devil in the Dark Water, plot-wise, but it's worse setting-wise. And it's definitely worse than the 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Because, I mean, like, his first book is just so cool, dude. Like, it's really hard to top. Like, it's, oof, really hard to top. That concept in that story is just incredible. So, definitely hard. But this one wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best one. I gave it 4 stars. It was really enjoyable in that sense. Like, more of an average kind of sci-fi thriller, in my opinion. Then I also got House of Slaughter Alabaster, which is the spin-off series of Something is Killing the Children. This volume was actually pretty cool. I think it's one of the most cohesive stories in this spin-off, because the first one, you already know the character, so it's easier. But in here, we got a new character, new stories, a white mask, which is pretty interesting, and I actually really enjoyed it. But in this one, we follow a kid with no arms that is sent into this orphanage to try and find out what the hell is killing these children. Again, the very same premise as in every Something is Killing the Children book. But this one is coming out as the bait, not the hunter. So it's really cool. I really liked it. This one of the best ones in the series, to be honest. So, this is part 1 of the wrap-up that I will be doing, because these next books I really want to stop and talk about them because I've read them recently. So I will talk about them more in a part 2, basically, that I will be recording tomorrow. So it will be fine. But yeah, have you read any of these? Did you like them? Did you hate them? What have you been reading recently? Just let me know in the comments below. And as always, I will see you in part 2 this time.